Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain community? We have an amazing show for you guys tonight. Tonight is Ladies' Night. And if you saw the thumbnail, you guys know who's joining us tonight. But we've got three amazing influencers within the community. And Chip, we're going to deep dive some of the things that are going on with the XRP, XRPL, some of the announcements, some of the moves lately with Ripple. I'm going to keep it a little bit of a secret until we bring them in.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Let's play the open and we'll bring them in. 1 second. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
And everybody drop where you're coming in from. We have people coming in from all over the world tonight, but let's drop your name in there. Are you ready? Do you have the drum roll, Jeff?
Let me get the drum roll going.
But
this is going to be a first. This is a first because typically everybody's like all these different screens and all these things going on. So
this is the first on the
of the first Ladies' Night
on the chain.
Let's go on the chain. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Here we go.
And there they are. Boom.
Live coming in from Tokyo.
Tokyo, from left to right, we have none other than we got it. We have a double. Everyone gets their own drum roll.
Double drum roll. One more time.
On the left to the right, we have Ali G, we have Crypto Eddie, and we have Moonchaser. What's going on?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? You guys are you guys are getting ready for an exciting event, right? That starts tomorrow. And you're staying in a pretty cool place, a little unusual by most people's standards, right? Because it's floating. So that's all we're gonna get. That's all we're gonna get is a nod. Okay, we're just gonna get a nod. All right.
Yeah, no, it's
touch your nose if you're being held hostage. If you're being held hostage, touch your nose. Okay. We got trouble, Jeff. We got trouble.
If you ever come to Tokyo, it's a great hotel. It's called the Petals, and it's on the canal, which is connected to Tokyo Bay, which is connected to, of course, the Pacific. And it's one of the original canals that, this whole city originally transported all its goods by water. So there's a lot of canals, very much like Amsterdam. When I was in Amsterdam for Apex, I realized that, wow, they really have those waterways happening too. And so does Tokyo. And so we stayed at a place that is literally floating on the water. We've got our own unit. Yeah, sure. It's our own unit. We're not connected on either side with any other units. And there's just 4 of them. Just 4. And I highly recommend. It's in the warehouse district that's been converted into kind of an artist enclave. And it's very artsy, has a lot of good restaurants, bakeries, small little places to hang out. Very, very fun, very different part of the city for sure. Doesn't feel like Tokyo here. Feels much more, I don't know, I was talking earlier on the live stream, it feels like you could be in Portland, Oregon when you're here. And this could be the Willamette River. It's very international feeling.
How exciting.
Awesome. What were the restaurants like? Is there a restaurant on premises, or do you get to adventure out?
Just literally like up the dock and across the walkway. Yeah, we went to a place called TY Harbor, and it's famous. They brew their own beer. It's got a great menu, everything from seafood to steaks, and very, very continental, international. It's huge location. I don't know how many tables. Again, very much not like Tokyo. Most Tokyo restaurants are quite small. Like you might get lucky to have 4 to 6 tables max. And this place has how many tables do you think?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
25 or 30 tables, maybe.
There was another level.
There is a second.
It's huge, like a warehouse.
It is an old warehouse. The whole area is a warehouse district, and there's a company called Terada Warehouse Company that has invested millions and millions of dollars into the area to renovate it and bring the warehouse district alive with kind of an artist feel. So there's a lot of really great exhibitions. They have an event a floating event hall that's just two rooms down from us. They have a Ghibli. I think people know Ghibli, right? Are they familiar with Ghibli? Maybe not.
Ghibli?
It's
We know
like
No idea.
Animation.
Don't know what a
We know.
Ghibli is.
Ghibli Studios, yeah. So the Ghibli
Oh no, Ghibli.
Studios.
You're talking about the anime, yeah, the
Yes,
artist. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, of course, I know Ghibli, but maybe I pronounced it different, but yeah.
So they had
Yeah.
look at this guy. Oh, so we got a boat guy going
Someone's
right
breaking in. Uh-oh, send help.
Yeah,
normally-
no, I think he's fishing. What's he doing?
He's catching your lunch.
He's
That's what he's
fishing.
doing.
He's
Breakfast.
That's right.
He's got breakfast for you guys. I mean, they bring it in
Yeah,
fresh and you
he's
guys
just
get to clean it.
cruising.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, normally you
he's
guys get the fluff at the end of Crypto Eddie's videos, but we do things different around on the chain. We do the
We
fluff
start-
up front.
We
The fluff is most of our videos
fun
and we
in the middle.
with a little substance
the end,
here and
yeah.
there, right? Just a little bit of substance.
Yeah.
So we got Waza coming in. Waza's never met Moonchaser. Yeah, Jeff and I have never either.
What's
Got Tony
up?
Morissette. Hello, ladies. Love seeing beautiful ladies having a great time. There you go. We got
Look at
Mick. Mick coming in. Mick, what's up, crew?
Mick, check out
We
this
got all
nice
the
comment
crew
right
coming
there.
in.
Harry, you're a gift to the XRP community. Thank you for all your
I'm a
research.
big
Yeah.
pain.
Nice comment.
I'm a big pain in the butt for half of them.
Listen, if it wasn't for you guys, Jeff and I wouldn't have a show, okay? Because we don't do any research. We read the post so you don't have to. That's it. That's all we do. That's our research.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you guys make quite often a lot of comments here, but everyone's happy to be here. Look at Ellie's like was commenting here, so it's great. But so this has been a crazy sort of a week, right? So we've had this whole thing with Ripple making this announcement, putting up a blog post, and talking about, well, maybe they've second sort of guessed what they're going to do as far as smart contracts are concerned. And we saw all kinds of dust ups, right? We saw Win put up his comment, and we saw an analogy where his name was Eric, and everyone's like, we thought your name was Weitza. We would have known this whole time, your name was Eric. And then we saw who was the one that put up the post about. There was another clever post too. I know, Eric, you were talking about it on the
Archer from XRP
Oh, Archer
Markets.
put that one up. That was very clever. That was
really good follow up to Wheats's Speedster. What was the name of the shop?
Speed.
That's
Oh,
no, Speed Star, wasn't it?
All right. That whole.
Speedstar, maybe Speedstar. Yeah,
Let's see.
it was a great follow up to Wheats's version. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really clever.
Oh,
It was
here it is
very
here, yeah.
it was a good read. And look at this, just so you guys can see what this looks like from their perspective. That's what it looks like on that awesome. Look at that's what it looks like from their perspective.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Not on the computer screen,
That's
but
awesome.
on the iPhone. See, Jeff,
Wait,
I
are
keep
you
telling how
using
awesome
the
iPhones are.
computer? You're using the computer to support the iPhone? Is that what it is?
Right, with the
Or is
chopsticks.
that
Because it has superior.
And the chopsticks. That's to get the right
That's awesome.
angle.
Right.
Got the chopsticks balancing a little bit.
Yeah, that's
You gotta-
authentic.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, you gotta love that for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's kind of break this down a little bit. Let's chat about it. I'd love to get like some opinions from each one of you. What did you think about when you first heard the news? The fact that Ripple was like, oh, by 2025 we're thinking smart contracts. Ty, let's start with you first, and then let's go across. But I want to hear, what were your thoughts about it?
Well, I think we were all quite surprised because with regards to native smart contract capabilities on the XRP ledger, we've been waiting with bated breath since 2021, since it was announced at Apex, in the first Apex actually. So we thought it was going to happen, and then it was taken off, and then the ZAO network was launched, and then there were murmurs of it perhaps coming back, being on the table again. And then to read that announcement, it was like, wow, when did this happen? Like, from where did this come from? So yeah, I was taken by surprise, but it's a good surprise. So that's my initial thoughts.
Nice. Crypto Eddie, let's go to you. Like, what did you think when you heard this news?
I was still in bed. It was early in the morning, and I was shocked too, as well. It's like one of those. I have to read that again. Did I just read that properly? I've got Ripple on my notifications. So you know how you get the notification at the top of your phone, and I saw it, they tweeted something out. Sometimes I jump to see what it is, and sometimes I don't. And I just decided to jump and see what it was, and I couldn't quite believe it, to be honest. I was really shocked. But then shock went into being super excited, because I just assumed, and maybe I shouldn't have assumed, obviously, now that I've read what everybody has said. Mayuka has really made it clear that it's exploration, and it's
Hmm.
not been decided if it's even EVM. We don't even know. Even Cointelegraph has made the assumption that it's going to be an EVM based, but it could be WASM, it could be hooks, it could be something that they're working on the backside that they've not told anyone about. I mean, that's even a possibility that they have been working on something. No idea. And so I went from being like thrilled. That's why I did the live stream for the first time. That was fun. Had a good audience, had a great people pop in. Pierce's CEO that does the sidechain work with Axelar was in there, and Scott Chamberlain from Evernote jumped in because he's like, wow, this is amazing too. He initially was meant to go on the mainnet, but he found his home on Zahao because it didn't have the capabilities that he needed. So he was pretty shocked and thrilled too, thinking, yeah, if it's hooks, this is fantastic. Everybody's dream come true, who have been following Win in the lab and the team and how hard they've worked. And they did something that wasn't able to be done before. I mean, I think that was a very earnest attempt to do it with Codius, but it did not come through. And I think they were challenged and they stuck to it. And people now know that they were funded a little bit with Ripple money, maybe not exactly the amount that they were initially thinking they were going to get. So you think about, they did it on a pretty tight budget and
Hmm.
pulled it off. And they battle tested it now. So I was then like, yes. But then when I found out it could be another one, then I kind of had that little dip of a little like, sigh that, it's going to be another like tough time for Wietze and the team, because they're going to have to work real hard to, I think, bring out the points of what makes hooks different and special. And I think the differentiating factors is really strong. It has very compelling technology, and there is a lightweight version, and you can do multiple transactions on one hook, so you can keep it slim and fit, doesn't bloat the system. And there's a really a long list of reasons of why it would probably be a fantastic choice. But I think that's going to be up to not only Ripple, but according to David, I just made a copy of his tweet. I just want to say it really quick, and then I'll let Allie go, because I know I'm taking a lot of time. But I'm totally thrilled that we're going to get it eventually. And no, it's not too late. It's never too late to have that kind of technology. And if it is even a step even more advanced and new technology like hooks is, we've got something that is even different. We've got a huge then suite of products on the XRP ledger, which can really be attractive to builders, VCs, entrepreneurs, people who want to have that customization with Evernote. I mean, can you imagine if you've got EVM sidechain, you would have hooks, you'd have Evernote, you'd have the standard fast, stripped down version of the XRPL, which has been also battle tested for 10 years. I mean, just think about all the, we've got another boat coming by here. It's really
You guys have the good view.
yeah. But let me just read you, and then I want to just read what David said. David said, what is that?
It's a tugboat.
Whoa, okay. David had said that he's committed and this will be interesting. I want to discuss it after Ali has a chance of how we follow up on these commitments that David has made. He said he wants to have regular community calls, design reviews with external community members and stakeholders, and blog post explaining considerations, the thought process, and any designs we propose. So I want to touch that later, but anyway, I'm 2 thumbs up for getting this kind of technology. And if we do have this on top of everything else that's coming, the XRP ledger is going to be poised to really, now listen carefully to me. They're going to be poised to focus on more than just Ripple, because there's going to be some huge, big projects that come over to XRP ledger. And should that happen, we'll be able to expand our focus than just always concentrating on Ripple, which I love Ripple. Ripple's great, but you can't bank on a chain with just one big use case. You need to have thousands of use cases and hundreds of really, really big ones, equal or even bigger than Ripple. Yeah.
Ali, what did you think? Did you think hell froze over or something weird happened? Like somebody, I mean,
Can we make her go last?
Yeah.
Sorry, because
all right, that's it. You're going
I
last.
think the
she
show's
covered
over
everything.
already.
I mean, Eddie has
Thank you,
covered
everybody. Have a
everything.
good night.
Look, my initial thought was how fantastic this is going to be, because what talking with builders in any chain is, when they're considering building on a chain, they're always looking for functionality.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really going to open up and bring a lot more builders onto the XRPL. And that was my initial thought, that that's really going to be the key point to all of this, and possibly the reason why this is coming out now, because they're focusing on building out our community and bringing people onto the XRPL, and this is going to open it up.
Yeah. Well, people want functionality.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the amendments that the XRPL has, there is proof that builders want more functionality from the XRPL mainnet.
Yeah,
So.
and builders are out there and they're looking for chains to build on. I see them when I go to other meetups with on other chains, and they're there to look at what they can use and what's available to them in functionality. And so this is going to really bring the XRPL into the forefront for them to consider. So it's really going to help.
Good perspective. Yeah, like that. It's good, interesting perspective from all three. I mean, I like this. This is good, Joe. So we got to do this more often, because then we can just listen and hang out.
We just sit and, we can hang out. Listen,
Jeff, your mic just went
so
crazy.
Rolled. Did it?
Oh,
No.
no.
Hang on a minute.
I was like, something
Underwater.
was bound to happen. Technology
underwater.
fails us.
I know what it is.
You're underwater.
You're how I changed that.
Oh, you're perfect. See, like just like that, you're perfect.
That's
Bob Moneybag said, "Hey, I'll never forget when Eddie sent me some Japanese Kit Kats I won in one of her videos. It was so cool to see it wrapped in newspaper from Japan. I still have it somewhere. So you want to hear a funny story about that? Listen to it. I'll tell you a funny story about that. So I got those Kit Kats too, and I'm like, what do you want in return? And do you remember what I sent you?
Yeah, you sent me was the shipping was astronomical.
It was insane. I'm like, the guy goes, you still want to ship it? I go, I'm sending it, man. I bought it. I'm sending it.
I think you paid $70.
I did.
Get that there.
Oh my god.
I paid 70. I paid $70, but what was I gonna do? I was there. I had the stuff. Do you remember what I sent you?
I think the soap was my favorite thing that I received. I mean, I loved, you sent like an assortment of stuff, but there was some handmade soap in there from somebody he knows.
So my wife makes the handmade soap. Like she makes all that stuff, and she's this, which is why the only. And I got another thing to tell you. When I came back from Australia, remember I was with you, Ali. I bought a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna buy her this, buy her this. You know what she liked the most? What? Not the opal, not the this, not the that. She liked the deodorant from that weird sort of like organic shop. She's like, this is the greatest stuff I've ever used. I've been looking for this stuff my whole life, and I try to get online and buy it from Australia. Nope. So I may have to pay $70 to get it shipped.
You'll have to send me a photo of it, see if I can get it and send it over for you.
So that newspaper. So you sent a bunch of stuff,
that was
and
in Byron.
Yeah, exactly.
Byron
Bay. In Byron Bay, I bought
I remember that. We went into that organic shop.
Yeah, it was a weird organic shop, and I'm like, oh, it's the kind of stuff you like. So
all those cookies were good over there.
you had those that newspaper. So like one Christmas, like this is the weird thing is, like they say, like, if you make soap, I can't get the soap, but everybody else has the soap. I can't get any for myself. So I said, so one Christmas she took that, she thought it would be really cool. So she wrapped up the soap with that newspaper. And this is like whatever, a couple years later, I kept one because I was like, the wrapping is so, I'll probably have to run off and grab it just because it's so cool. But I kept it, and she like wrapped it beautifully in the paper. And she goes, I thought that was so cool that it would make such unique wrapping. And it's probably like an ad for like, I don't know, toilet paper or something. Who knows? It could be something really strange, but it turned out really well. Thank you for that, Bob. Bob, thanks for John. And Bob Moneybags is streaming again. He started his channel up again.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
That's really
he's
good.
been real active, and he's been writing some
Yeah.
really good posts too, more along the geopolitical spectrum, which is where sometimes Jeff and I live. 98%,
Not too much.
not too much. Once in a while we get into it, but not very
Lately.
often.
Well, it's critical times.
Just here and there. Jungle says, hey, if you believe David changed his mind after a casual conversation, you've never argued with David. I think that's about as spot on as it could be right there.
So
David doesn't even argue with me anymore.
Bob is back. Well, he also doesn't come on the show.
Yeah, so this is so
No,
funny. So
We've asked him so many
multiple
times.
people have asked him. So
I was
guys, if
going
you
to
want
invite him
to,
on with us girls.
you have to.
That would have been great.
He would have been, as long as those two other fellows aren't there, I'm all game. But it's like I asked him at the proper party, and he said, Brad won't let me, and he ran off. And then like
Yeah,
I
that's
had
right.
somebody
I had
somebody ask him at Apex, and he goes, no, I can't do the show. I won't do it, or whatever, something like that. I'm like, come on, man. So if you want to drop that to him, you can go ahead and do that too. But yeah, I mean, we had our own feelings on this on the chain. It's
so much dust up going on.
There's so much going on. It's like after that lawsuit ended, and like people are still like, well, what's going to go on? Are they going to? Is the SEC going to? Are they going to appeal and whatever? And I'm like, the way Jeff and I look at it is, XRP got clarity, and that was what I wanted. Right? That's all we really wanted. I mean, Ripple's got a lot of money. They're not, if there's 200 million, 300 million, or billion, whatever, they'll figure that out. But I think the main part of it's behind us. Jeff, what did you think when you saw that whole thing with the the smart contracts? Did you think it was?
It's interesting timing. The question is if it's too little, too late. But we're still new in the space. I think the past 3 years has been traumatic, on many different levels for the space. I think that in order for us to get to where we need to go with the XRPL, it needs to be broader. I don't think Ripple is the end all be all to the technology either. And I think people putting so much weight in what Ripple does is a huge mistake. From the perspective that if we're going to grow, and I think Bill Morgan, really highlighted it in this, in his X post as he's talking about it, because if we're so Ripple centric, then the whole point of Howie, no longer, then it begins to apply, because then the whole investment, circles around what Ripple has done. And that means that everyone just wants them to succeed so we can succeed. And that doesn't make sense. Especially since they're a centralized organization, like Chip just said, that's focused on their own growth. They have to focus on their own technology. They made promises to the community that they didn't fulfill. And at this point, if we're going to move as this unfolds, it's going to be interesting to watch, because we have to see, all the time and effort that YETIS put into his project. Just because he put time and effort into it doesn't mean that Ripple owes him anything either. But he is trying to build on the, expand XRPL. I think bringing smart contracts to the XRPL is critical. They didn't want it before. They kind of bypassed it. We saw, Flare was bringing smart contracts. I mean, the smart contract space is going to be critical, but it goes beyond that. It goes into cross chain, but we can get into all those details. But I just wanted to highlight this one comment that we get from Bill Morgan. And he said, just my observation, but neither the news that Ripple will bring smart contract capability to the XRPL, nor that the RLUSD will go live in the next few weeks has impacted in any discernible way on the price of XRP. In terms of the Howey test, not only would I question whether an investor and XRP could possibly have a reasonable expectation of profits holding XRP from Ripple's efforts after the last several years, but I would question if such an expectation is rational. And, I think that this really, highlights the exact reason why, people are putting way too much weight on the Ripple outcome and what they're supposed to be doing in the community. The only caveat to all of that, and I'll throw this out to what you guys think on this, is that Ripple made a promise to the community that they were going to invest a huge amount of money on the development side, and they never fulfilled that.
And not even
Well, I
10,
think
not even 10%.
they're still on the way of doing it, I
Right.
think.
3 years, they're
But
only like 8 or 8% into it. I don't know. I think that's kind of I think we need to like pick up the, the pace a little bit, and on the smart contracts subject, the one thing that I'll say is that I think it's weird too. Like I kind of with Bill, I'm like, if it's decentralized,
Mhm.
I don't really, Ripple's like, a voice in the crowd. But again, there's a community here, and the community is vibrant, and we're talking about it. But I also feel like this community is what forced the hand of Ripple to then do this. I don't think Ripple just on a whim says, "Oh, okay," because I think there was a lot of this has been going on and bubbling up for some time. But I also like to see the one guy, Win, and his team that has operated like on a shoestring budget and done a lot of things. And yeah, they've had some funding, but what they've done, the time, the energy that they put in, and really advancing the XRPL, like taking it to a new level and depth. And then I don't like anything that looks like centralization, right? I'm not necessarily. I know Jungle and I have had this conversation back and forth, and I think he sort of changed my mind on it. But I just listen. They're a voice in the crowd. They're not the ones that are taking the control or steering the ship. The ship should be steered by the community for what the best is for the XRPL and what we feel is like the best, right? The best for developers. The people that are building on it should have a say on what's happening. Well, they should have a say on like, hey, where are we going with this? Where do we want to see? I think it's great news that Ripple is sort of taking this change of heart. But also when I reread the blog post too, it found very speculative. Like we're looking at this and we're kind of, and even David's post here is like, hey, we want to be transparent. We're putting this out there. We're doing the best we can. And so I don't necessarily fault them on that, but I just feel like at some point we have to figure it out as a community. Jeff, what's your question? You got a question there.
Well, that was it, just to get feedback on, well, let's, I guess, rephrase all of it. Where do we go from here? I would like, here's, I guess, the final on it. I would like to see, like Chip was saying, more community control over the foundation, over the outcome of where the XRPL is going, and Ripple having less influence over it. I think that will bring more development. If we're going to become a developer-based community, which the technology has been there, it's one of the best chains that is just packed with amazing technology. It obviously needs to expand a little bit. What do you guys think? Should we be moving away from Ripple, or should we stay connected and reliant on Ripple as a centralized kind of leader within the space?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we have
that's a big one. Okay. Who's gonna go first? Let's go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
But I really think that Ripple, they do listen to the community, and they do recognize that there has to be some sort of governance from the community. I think we are going to step forward towards creating a DAO basically on the XRPL. But if you think about Ripple pivoting or Ripple expanding on the original vision for the XRPL, yes, they have moved beyond payments, but how they're moving with the industry in terms of tokenizing RWAs, in terms of just in general, they understand that we need smart contracts or more features in order to enact what they want to do and for what the community wants to do. So if you think about the DAO, for example, you do need smart contracts capabilities in order to govern, because without it, we would have to, how can a XRPL DAO be done on the XRPL if there are no smart contracts on the XRPL?
Yeah. And I believe that Ripple are listening to the community, and I think that's the reason why we're going in the direction that we're going. And that is about bringing more features and bringing more developers and bringing the community back together.
Yeah,
That's good.
I'm on board with that. Crypto Eddie, anything?
Yeah, I'm on board with the DAO, and I think there's 1,000 ways to make that DAO happen in terms of its foundational structure. So that's going to be messy and complicated, and I'm sure full of lots of debates. I think it's going to go that way, and I do know it'll be difficult because we've got a lot of different strong opinions and sometimes even factions in the community.
Hmm.
And
Cabals.
Yeah,
Balls.
and it's really going to be quite important to get the structure correct.
Correct,
With this
yeah.
DAO. And that's, how that happens is going to be the key feature of bringing this DAO together.
Yeah, and if it can really bring the community together, that would be a great thing, because let's face it, the community has been fractured lately. We got the blockers out there. That's not helped. And so I think
Well, we have AI music, so that helped. the AI
That's definitely helped.
I don't think I've ever had more fun than creating the AI music. The first one, and someone's like, and then I remember Ty says, "Well, can you do a Korean version?" I'm like, coming right up. What about a country version? Yes, we can do a country version. What about a reggae version? We got the reggae version, right? So it was like all of these things, and then we got some other. But yeah, I do think that I look. You can extend olive branches. Look, we're a community, and we're going to disagree, right? It's like a dysfunctional family,
community.
right? We care about it, but I think we all have the right sort of heart, like the whole sort of like mindset. It's just that we language it differently, Some people are on the look. Ripple's an integral part of it, right? And I do feel like that's what I said initially, is that the community, this is kind of forced in. There's some things going on, but you can't blame and like shoot arrows at Ripple. Ripple's just one cog in the wheel, right? And I think that we've got to be a little bit more on board as far as I'd like to see some more. Yeah. And Ty, that the chorus for the song said it the best, that some people are about it was so funny as I took everybody else's comments, but some people are into speculation, and that's how they roll. And others are a little bit more grounded, right? So they want a little bit more, they want more fact-based stuff. And, and some people kind of go in between, but it's a community. I'd like to see it kind of come back together. I feel like there was so much unity when the lawsuit was going on. As soon as that happened, everyone's like, man, and throwing things at each other and blocking people. And it just got a little crazy.
And it's tough, I think, and you guys have all seen it, and Crypto Eddie, you've, been on the receiving end, with some of the expos from the community. And then, and I think it's, the conflict and the turmoil, part of the community, that is causing, the chaos. I mean, you have the fanboys out there on, the different social media platforms. But they're so hyper focused on just trying to make, profit, and, they don't care about so much on the technology and the development that is long-term, profit and reward for the space. And, as we start expanding 10, 12, 13 years, in this asset class and this technology, it's still relatively young, as we're seeing changes, infrastructurally and from a financial perspective and a technology perspective as it takes root. There's a question that I had in here for you guys, but where, if you were to, kind of forecast, well, let me take a step back, because I think this is important, before we move forward, because I've seen some of the comments here, in terms of, where we're at, that, here's the expansion of the XRPL, trying to gain some of the technologies that XRP and the XRPL seems to always be playing in catch-up mode in the different technology. But here's the first part of the question I think would be important. Do you think that the lawsuit, caused any type of delay in the rollout or expansion of the technology? And maybe we, from here, we're looking more centric in terms of innovation within the US market versus what's happening over in the Asian markets.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there were lots of people who didn't want to get on the chain because if it had no clearance of not being a security, you don't want to pour your investment and time and energy into a chain that is going to be handcuffed by the SEC. So I'm sure that set back builders, that set back developers, VCs, also set back customers of Ripple. It was a huge setback.
It's still setting back developers, especially in the US market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to take time.
Yep. Now here's the next part. So here we are, we're expanding, developing, and I believe that it is going to be about, new technologies that are coming to the chain. They're going to bring us to the next generation. Ripple's focus, again, being, primarily on moving money, which is a big part of blockchain. Whether
I wanna
Tokenization.
well,
I kind of want
tokenization,
to I want to disagree with that because I don't think that is the number one focus anymore.
right?
Oh,
Well,
they
yeah,
failed.
I agree with that. Right. So, and that's the pivot, right? So that's where we started. That was where they were focused on, and now they're trying to pivot. From that, they've changed kind of iterations of where they've been to where they're going, and now what we're seeing, and I think this is important, to bring up, with all of this, is that they are rolling out the stable coin. So as they transition, I was reading somewhere on one of the posts, I didn't go and dig through their website, but per the post, they've removed XRP as part
That's
of their
Jungle who noticed it. He had a screenshot
Yep.
of what it did look like and then a
Right.
screenshot now.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the RLUSD is going to be super popular in the payment flows, no doubt. And that's great they're going to give the customers what they want. And so many places around the world want the dollar. So it's going to be super popular in those payment flows for sure.
So where do you think we're going if they're pivoting, and how does their pivot influence the rest of the development?
Well, I'm thrilled that they are going into tokenization because that is trillions and trillions of dollars
Huge.
of opportunity, and so I'm pleased with that. It's probably payments is a huge opportunity, but it's getting quite saturated. And there was one of their partners who was previously called MFS Africa, and I think they're called On Afrique now. They've changed their name. They have a new branding. And the head of the digital payments who was using XRP, and also now she announced that they're going to use another digital asset too. I think it's a stable coin. She said it's a race to the bottom for fees. It's a race to the bottom. So when you think about Ripple being in a sector where there's a race to the bottom with fees, that's not where you want to put all your eggs in that basket. So I think the fact that tokenization is going to be big, I think that they're going to make a lot of money on tokenization and their partnerships. They're going to make a lot of money on DeFi. They're going to make a lot of money on their stable coin. And they'll most likely be very successful in custody. So they've got now 4, I think, revenue streams that are going to bring them into some profitability. And so then if they can show some great profitability, and there's something going on with Futureverse, guys. There's something going on there. There is so much development and building and emphasis and money and focus and new things happening under the umbrella of Futureverse, which is with the Root network, which has been deeply integrated with the XRP ledger. I'm telling you, there's a lot
Well, the
more
custody was a
on
big
there.
part of that.
Yeah, that's just one of the announcements, but I think you're going to see that is part of their grand strategy, and I haven't quite figured out. Of course, I love to play armchair strategist with them, and I do it with SBI all the time. It's kind of my own little fun thing to do, like who's the next company they're going to acquire, where are they going to, put their efforts in but there's something I
Well,
haven't quite figured it out yet.
I will say this, you know, I when you work for a software, I work for a software company, and we ship product like nobody else. I've never seen somebody in the space like Futureverse that ships and ahead of schedule, on time, and blows minds every single time. It's one of the things, you know, I mean, Aaron and the crew over there, they do a really good job of, and it was really cool to see that picture of Aaron and Brad Garlinghouse saying, "Hey, we meet face to face again. We get to have this conversation again," and it was great. You know, we had Aaron on here twice, and it was so phenomenal to meet him in person, and Scotty as well. You know, of having all those conversations. You know, just to actually meet, but you know, you might be onto something. There's something to brew there, right? There's something going on.
So if you're into researching, I'll give
We're
you
not,
a
so.
Not
lead
so
or a
much.
hint.
That's your job.
somebody in the audience might be really into it. Auto blockchain.
How do you spell that?
Didn't,
OTTO.
didn't Monica
Auto.
Long just
I've
say
always
that?
called it auto. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's
That's-
I'm pronouncing it with a long O, but I think
Auto. Okay.
auto. Maybe it's auto. I'll have to ask. You want to? There is
right.
I think there's a big reveal that's going to come out. Monica just talked about it.
Is that it
You
there?
can go on to their Yep, that's it.
Yep.
So I think it's public knowledge. I don't think this is any secret. That is Aaron McDonald's brother.
Jeff.
All right.
Okay.
I like the little. I love the branding. I can tell you that. It's always a good sign.
Oh, do you?
Cute.
Go
nice
to
logo.
their go
I like
to
their
their
colors,
team
yeah.
go to
Right.
the team pictures.
Let's see. I think I was checking this out recently. Yeah, because I think. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, that's too much.
Where's
That's
the,
awesome.
If you like their character, you'll love the team pictures.
Here,
where's
I got it right here.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, I think there's something there, and I think that if you pay attention to that Futureverse and the Root Network, I think there's going to be a lot of exciting developments coming out of that thing. But you know, just not. I want if we stick on the metaverse, you know, maybe Futureverse is going to go public. I don't know. I was kind of the thing I was thinking of this morning, and maybe they're getting primed to go down that route. But also too, if you
Did you say that? Go down that route? You did say that. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Why?
Okay. Okay. Root network.
go down that
route.
route.
Yeah.
Network.
I was thinking
Yeah,
ROOT,
sorry.
not
Right.
ROUTE.
But
All
I
right.
also want to say that Dirk too is doing some great things with his metaverse. So
Dirk
we
has
don't wanna-
got a.
Dirk has been
Yeah,
moving.
and
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
say, Dirk has done it without the fanfare, and Dirk has done it
Mhm.
like, I mean, if I have any deep appreciation for somebody
Mhm.
who's unstoppable, it's Dirk. Like nothing can
Yeah.
get in his way. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, buildings can fall in his way, and he'll find a way through them, under him, over him. So I have to say, you know, and I think he's working on some exciting stuff too. I think
I
there's
think
a lot
he's more
of.
like
I
a
think
bulldozer. He just goes through.
He does.
He does, and
really
we got a
does.
chance. We've had a chance to hang out with Dirk a
It's
couple
get
times.
out of
So.
my way.
But we've got two really big metaverse projects in the ecosystem. That is very, I mean, those two have great potential to be
Mhm.
ones that we focus on. So that's
Yes.
back to my original point is that if we're going to focus on more than just Ripple, those two are probably a good choice. And I don't know, watch this Auto blockchain. I think there's something big there.
Interesting. You guys heard it first here on the chain,
All right.
baby. That's
All
what
right. Here's a question for you. Here's a
And
question. Hey, this is MetaMan Crypto on X. Why would devs come to the XRPL for smart contracts instead of Cardano, which is a better tech than Sol and ETH? Even XLM has smart contracts and did nothing for it yet. So
It's a lot
why?
to unpack there.
That is a lot. That's a big in-depth question. What is going to drive more devs over to the XRPL?
So I'm not familiar with Cardano's tech. What is Cardano using for their tech? I know that Stellar's using Wasm, and so I think that the Hooks has some amazing differentiating factors. One of the things that I mentioned earlier as I mentioned some in the beginning of this conversation, but I also failed to forget to mention that you can do some of that functionality coding with the JavaScript. That's gigantic. So you've got 200,000. Let me tell you why. 200,000 developers out there in the not blockchain world. Sorry, 200,000 developers out there that know how to code in Solidity, and 20,000 of those 200,000 are in the blockchain space. But when you look at the millions upon millions of people who know how to code in JavaScript, that makes a huge difference. So if I was a builder and I wanted to have a smart contract and use a chain that's got also all these other functionalities, but I can do it in JavaScript, and I forget the millions. You can, somebody, if you've got access, I don't have access to a computer. If you look at the difference, 200,000 Solidity developers versus how many people are actually coding in JavaScript, it's like, it's just a huge difference.
Yeah, or Java proper, Java, there's JavaScript, but I think that, that's all changing with AI. I think a lot of this is going to change the game because we're already getting to the point. If you guys have checked out Cursor at all, I saw this 8-year-old kid doing a video on how to build an app. Okay. And the kid was losing me. Okay.
I saw
So
that.
this is where we are. We're going to be able
Yeah.
to manipulate and move, but I think we're 1.0 right now. And I think that a lot of this is going to go away. It's the same way that HTML evolved. HTML used to have to hand coded stuff until I could create it with it's the same way you do a page creation. I put this here, I do this, and then you can use the different. It was a total game changer. I just feel like everybody is going to get into coding because your ideas is what is important. That's what the human has. The human has these ideas, and AI helps us flesh some of that out. I mean, if the best assistant that I have in life is ChatGPT 4.0. I use it for everything. I bang all kinds of stuff off it. You're this, you're that. Tell me about this. And so I can actually brainstorm with myself. It says something back. I have an idea about that. I put something else in, or I write something. So I think that ideas and the human capital are what's always going to be something important. But I think we're getting to a point where if people want to start building on the XRPL, we're getting to a point where we're going to be able to leverage one smart dev and then someone that can manage it and maintain it, because it's not perfect yet. It has bugs. You say, okay, find the bug, fix it. But that's 1.0. Where will we be 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years? And where were the AI bots? We already saw those 2 AI bots doing an exchange over on Coinbase. People are like, so big deal. The big deal is that you've just eliminated that human sort of the human making mistakes, right? The bots don't make mistakes as often. You've eliminated a lot of the human error that could potentially go into things. And I thought that was monumental for a lot of different reasons. But where we're going with this thing, let's go into that AI conversation. What do you guys think of the AI? Where are we going to head with that? I'll start, and I want to hit Ali G first on this one. Like, how do you see AI evolving in sort of like maybe the coding, or just what you're seeing unfold with video, with text? What do you think? What do you see things happening in the next 2 to 5 years?
It's allowing you to access services that you would normally have had to pay for, like a personal assistant. I mean, I would have loved a personal assistant a few years ago, but to afford one, whereas now I've got a personal assistant in the palm of my hand. AI is allowing us to have access to services that we never did before. And we, of course there's a subscription, but it's well worth the money because, I can, like you say, you can prompt, information or teach me about, a subject that, in a matter of seconds can generate the information that I can have right in my palm of my hand within seconds. And whereas before, how long it would take you to research that kind of information, again, creating that idea, like having the idea and then generating a plan of attack to bring that idea to life, generating sort of management plans, generating delegation plans, like anything to do with management now is just in the palm of my hand. It makes life so much more easier and quicker. we're moving, it's allowing us to move in a faster pace. Even though we were moving fast before, we're now moving in light speeds with what we can generate in seconds with AI.
Would you say you're a
And,
fan?
Yeah.
I was getting that. I
Yeah,
was starting to
love
feel a
it.
little bit of,
Yeah,
I was feeling some
because
heart in
like I
there.
say, information, on the fly. Like if I need something done really quickly, a lot of times, I mean, anyone that knows me, I move around a lot. I cannot stay in the one spot. So having access to my computer is just not necessarily something that's available to me every day. If I need to generate an email or a response, I can quickly just do the prompt, get that, edit it, and have it gone within 1 minute.
Isn't it
And
awesome?
for me, that's convenience.
But you know what's scary? I was sat down at and we were in a meeting at the conference room table. So I'm writing notes up on the whiteboard about a workshop that we're planning. And so I have all the notes. I had some other notes on the board from something else, and we're writing all the notes out. I'm like, man, I don't feel like rewriting this and then having to type it in the computer and then trying to figure this all out. So I took a picture of it, put it into ChatGPT, said, I want you to, transfer this over into notes and extrapolate, blah, blah, put together the workshop, put together the plan. And it read my note, my handwriting perfectly. I accidentally had some other words from another note that went in there. So it incorporated that. And I saw that. I'm like, oh, take that part out. It removed it and redid it. And I'm like, I was terrified. I'm like, I could take a picture and it could read my writing.
Especially your writing, Jeff. That's
especially my writing, which is horrible.
Like that's
it's just like how is
the
this
other
even
important thing
possible?
that I started using it for recently is how many contracts get sent to us with, TNSs that you do not understand and that you do not have time to read. You can put that
Summarize
into
it.
ChatGPT and you can say, what would be the concerns that I would need to ask about in this, or what are the exclusions I need to question about in this contract? And it'll generate it, within seconds. And you've got every piece of information that would be of concern to you that you could question, and it's done in like seconds. So, for that convenience, even, I mean, who wants to sit down and read the terms and conditions, the T&Cs?
The best thing it does, I'm trying to set a meeting up with somebody and I send them 3 days with some available times, and it's an Eastern time, and I can never get my calendar set. I always have to do it my time. So I go like, hey, convert this from Eastern time to Pacific time or whatever time, Central European time, and then keep the same format. Done, copy, paste, done. So, I mean, that just like something like that takes you so long to do. I mean, it's an incredible thing. Ty, what's your thought about AI? Like, where do you see it around on the let's say like on the crypto part of it, but just in general, like what's your view and where do you think we're heading with the AI?
Well, it's definitely transformational technology, and being in the blockchain space, you know how rapidly things move with AI. There is an intersection of the two technologies, and I'm excited for that. I'm excited how applications will come onto the blockchain, or how it can improve dApps for users. I think there's a lot of potential there to make our lives simpler, and well,
supposedly
it would just be advantageous to humanity, I guess. But yeah, we use it on a regular basis.
Yeah, we just used it. Yeah, Onami just did a partnership contract, and
we don't have enough money for legal, so we asked Chat.
Yeah, so Kai had the idea for Santiago to put it in ChatGPT and ask which from this contract, which we thought we were done, where are the missing components that should still be in there? And then it gave us this list, and we just said, well, we don't need that one that one's really important. Ooh, we forgot that, and then so we used like half of what it suggested, and that was really, really important.
It is wrong sometimes. I will throw that out there. If you don't, you have to be a subject matter expert.
I want to share something about Eddie. She's always very polite when she does her prompts. So when the AI overloads,
she says, "Please." Does she tell it, "Please do this"?
Well.
You know what? I think we've all done that. Could you please?
Yeah, could you please? Thank you.
Thank you very
Still
much. I
do.
appreciate that.
I think it's a real person. I can't get over
do
this.
But you know
too.
what?
Right.
It's better to
Yeah,
be.
that's
Listen, when they
horrible.
take
it'll
over,
apologize.
when they take over, they'll remember you. They'll be
Well,
like,
let's
this
err
one
on
here,
the side of
this human
caution.
here, she was
Right.
kind. The other ones, not so
Yes.
much.
Although AI made a mistake today, I was writing
I got
out
cranky with
a
mine
plan
and
for
it said,
so
"Oh, I'm
for
sorry."
yeah.
I'm
Well, it's
sorry.
bizarre.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it does apply, but it made a mistake. So I said I want you to start from today's date through the end of the month. Put a social media campaign together. You know, I got to present, but whatever. And so it put it together. It said today, August 29th through, and I wrote back. And I'm like, it's not. I had to double check. I was like, am I living in the wrong time? Did I set August 29th? I was like, it made a mistake. So I wrote it. It's like, today isn't actually August 29th. It's September. Oh, my mistake.
When we were
Then
doing
I
the badass
corrected it.
Yetis, Jeff, remember how many times like we're like, okay, when we thought it was a good idea to name 589 of the Blue Tribe, we thought it was a good idea to
Oh,
have
yeah.
all original names based on Nordic and Viking folklore. And then like
my
it would
God.
get done with like 150, be like, I'm like, no,
Just-
why are you stopping? It's like we're not done. And I would like do some more, and it would be like, all right, we don't want any repeats, okay? And we thought we were pretty good, but as people have pointed out to us, we had like one or two recurring names in there that have been repeats. So, and I work in AI, so I'm really steeped on how leakage and all that stuff occurs. And you got to be careful that you're not using any IP, intellectual property stuff, because it will learn from that. There's already been a couple cases out there where IP has leaked through and competitors have gotten a hold of it because they've been able to ask the right prompts. So you got to be careful that you're not using any intellectual property and you're keeping it kind of vague. Like the version that I use for my work is all locked down. There's no leakage, so I can use all the IP and stuff. So I'm just being real careful that you don't want to put things in there that are going to be that can learn from, right? A contract is pretty stable, right? Hey, tell me what's wrong with this.
Yeah, because it can be boilerplate, basically.
They
those
almost all are.
contracts can
you got
turn out to
templates.
be template style.
I use the comb 10Ks. I go through this 10K and I want you to tell me the risks. I want you to tell me this about that. What are they concerned about? And then it gives it to me and I'm like, all right, fair enough. Give me some citations. And then I want, not tell me what you think, give me the actual quote and the page number. Cause I've had to double check it a couple of times and I'm like, no, it was close, right? So that's why I'm like, you got to be careful about relying on it too much. You're writing an email, you can read the email, you can edit it, like you said, Ali, right? It's simple.
You've got to edit it.
Look at El Hafu here. He says, hey, I want to put this up there. Thank you for that support. He goes, to help out with that shipping fee, that $80 shipping fee to Crypto. That was a couple years ago, but that $80 worth 120 in today's time. I'm just kidding. But anyway, congrats to John Deaton. Yeah, John Deaton crushed it in his
Yeah.
65.
Yeah, go John.
And how amazing was that for him to 64% of the
He crushed
votes?
them.
I've been hitting Ian Kane. I'm like,
it was just a little like he had the edge, didn't he? It was just,
right out of the gate, less than 1%, 2% with the first 100 he was leading.
She's gonna have to be worried about. She would have seen that.
Yeah, of course.
Elizabeth would have seen that. She would have gone,
And
whoa.
Ian didn't do, it's funny. I didn't even know really the other guy. We were so focused on Ian Kane, right? I didn't even know the guy.
Hanson Ellis. Notice, Jeff and I broke down the debate on Friday. God. And here was his whole thing was he had a Trump hat on. He goes, I'm the only candidate that's for Donald Trump. And I was like, dude, you got to have more than that. I'm like, that's not enough. He had like a Trump shirt and everything he said was like, I like Trump. And I'm like, dude, that's not a platform. I'm sorry. And I thought that was pretty weak. And then I hit Ian Kane 2 days in a row. I'm like, well, I know you lost, but when are you going to do that endorsement? You said on the debate, you're a man of your word, that you were going to endorse John Deaton. I hit him up again. You said you were going to endorse John Deaton. Where is it? So look at this. Bob Moneybags, a new member right there.
Bob Moneybags.
And you know who else is in here? Wanted to say hi.
Super chat. So I was just posting the super chat.
D&I was in here saying hello.
Yeah, D&I was here, but there was actually a question. Here it is right here. All right, here's his question. And this goes to everybody. We'll start with you guys. We'll start with Ali on this one, but Ripple has their headquarters in the US. There's a lot more development and they're more crypto friendly elsewhere. Why do we think that, why are they maintaining their headquarters here in the US? Any ideas? Any thoughts on that?
I have a really, I have a good thought.
Yeah. I mean, they. I seen a nice little article come out on LinkedIn promoting their office in Sydney, with Ross Edwards and Neil Smith.
Smith.
Yeah, so they are expanding. I mean, they are a global company. So I think that, it's going to take time where they're going to need to set up internationally, and that's happening. But the main headquarters, being in the US is, I mean, that was the original office there. That's always going to be kind of like the hub, isn't it? But they will be setting up internationally. They already are.
I think they have 9 global locations.
Yeah.
But I think I know why they're going to always stick to Ripple as long as Chris Larson is still chairman. He's a San Francisco native from, his family is from there. His wife is from there. I know she's maybe not born there, but she went to school there, and she's very much in the community as well. So is Chris Larson. And I think they have a commitment to help get San Francisco back on track, because it's lost its ways. It kind of went off the rails there for a while, still is. But I think they're really committed to bring it back to its original grandeur, because it was an amazing city. I grew up in the Bay Area, and very sad for me to see the state of where it has unfortunately come to. And nobody really, after COVID, I think the occupancy rate is still so low. The buildings are in and around 25% occupied, so 75% is empty.
Is it because of COVID?
Well, nobody just went back, and crime got very bad, and homeless got very bad, and the drugs and the.
I thought we weren't going to bring up politics on this podcast. It's all related to politics. Jeff and I will draw the dots. We'll start connecting the dots, put the pins on the strings.
You have to park your car and open your hood and roll down your windows.
No, that rookie 49er just got shot. He's a rookie on the team. He was shopping in the Union Square, and he got shot, mugged and shot. I mean, it's like, thank God he's okay. But
moved out.
Yeah,
but you know what they're doing though.
But the majority of the retail chains have left.
Yep.
They're tearing it down so they can build it back up.
A lot of work to bring that back, though.
I think it'll happen in the Silicon Valley, and I think Chris Larson was in an article too. I don't know if it's the article I shared with you, Chip. I know I just shared an article recently, but Silicon Valley's had, a lot of the talent, and yes, we have learned to work virtually, so it doesn't necessarily have the concentration of developers like it used to. However, it still has a concentration of a lot of the VC money in that area of the Bay Area. And the thing that you're probably going to see is AI, according to Chris Larson. He thinks AI is going to be the vehicle that revives San Francisco, the tech behind AI. And he might be right.
Yeah. He actually might be right.
Mm-hmm.
I think AI is going to be a big developer, but I do feel like that. I do feel on Elon Musk though, and talking about guardrails. Guardrails are important. I think that we do, like, because you have a lot of splinters in that community too, right? And I just saw this video out of China that it was mind blowing. Like, I've never seen it's a prompt video. I can't remember the name of it, but I've been seeing it all over X, and it's outstanding what I'm seeing the video. Like, it's indiscernible from reality, right? There was one of I think it was Will Smith and Donald Trump eating like giant plates of spaghetti. It was so crazy that you go like, oh, that wouldn't happen, but damn, that looks pretty incredibly real. And there was a lot of this. And then I tried to get access to it, but guess where you can't get it? Not in the US, but I guess you can get it in Australia, though. I saw Australia was on the list, but they have an open beta right now, so anybody can join it. And if it does come to mind, but I'm like, we're at the point right now where, Hollywood's going to change a lot, right? How movies are made. I'm seeing these. I saw a little short that was made that was really effective. It was a guy, a dad and his son made this video about a hamster and a hamster escaping and creating. Did you guys see this? Created a robot. So the hamster's in the what would be the face, and he's like, he's hitting the controls, and he's walking around the house. And he's making cereal, and he's trying to eat the cereal. Right? He creates a robot. And it was like really cute, but you're like, it was creative in a way that we haven't seen creativity, where now your mind can dream it. Now you're going to be able to action. I know Oscar is in the chat too, and he's done some cool things.
Done some really cool things.
He's done some really cool things as well. And I'm like, gosh, we are so getting close to where you can have a total studio, you can do product stuff and be like a 2-person team and do this mind-blowing type of Hollywood type of stuff. So we're getting there. I just hope that we kind of keep the guardrails on there. I hope we don't go a little too crazy, because, you know, you kind of want to just like live out the next couple of years and not be under a thumb somewhere, right? Because it can be used for good and bad. It's just like the whole Spider-Man thing, you know, it's the whole, you know, power conversation.
The overall question when it comes to what's going on in San Francisco, what it used to be, what California used to represent, you know, they've kind of gone a completely different direction, obviously politically, but forget that, is that they also have a massive brain drain, because the fact that it's less safe, less secure, the retail isn't there, it's still expensive for no reason. The quality of life is degraded. People are leaving that region. They're moving to other states in large numbers. And you know, we're obviously seeing what's happening in Florida with the migration from other states into Florida. They're seeing it in Texas. They're seeing it in a lot of the states. And the question is whether or not people want to go back there. The draw before was that, oh, you know, well, it's beautiful out there. If anyone's ever been to San Francisco, it's a beautiful area, and you have wine country, and you know, obviously from that perspective, it's always going to draw people over there. And things get bad. We're at a point in our country's history where we're at a crossroads, right? And this is where the politics enters in, because we're at a crossroads of prosperity and freedom, or we can go the other direction. And we see that representation in the limited temporary fall of different communities like San Francisco. Question is whether or not they can come back in a fast period of time, and it may never get back to what its glory was. And tech doesn't have to be there. That's the beauty of it, is that technology can be anywhere. Companies can start up, like Chip was saying, it can start up now out of,
but you know, Jeff, the sourdough bread
computer.
The sourdough bread is like, that's why you go to San Francisco. Like, you know,
well, you're going to go there because it's beautiful there. You got amazing landscape, you know, and I think that's going to be the draw. That's what's going to get people to revitalize the area.
I think so. Bob Moneybag says, unless AI makes a RoboCop to patrol the city, I'm not too optimistic about San Francisco. Hopefully it turns around though. It used to be super nice, you know?
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you know, I remember I went to a convention there. It was a tech convention there. That it was there every single year. The guy who started the convention, born and bred in San Francisco, you know, used to be a long-haired hippie dude, music guy, like the quintessential. And then when he moved it out of San Francisco to Vegas, I knew we were in trouble. Like a San Francisco born and bred guy moves to Vegas. I thought, wow, this is we've you know, there's a huge departure there. So it is. I do think it will come back, and you know, I do like to see that Chris Larson is doing a lot of good in the community. I'm not too cool on him buying cameras for the entire city, but that's okay. I mean, you do what you think is right in your heart. You do what you think is the best, you know. And that's I think that's a little bit what makes the world go round. So let's talk about what's next. I'm going to wrap up here in a little bit. I know we got a little bit more time here, but let's talk about like what we think. There you go. All-star lineup. Great to see Eddie Moonchaser and the other lovely lady who's new to me. That's not another new to you. She's not new to me, but she's, yeah. That would be Ali G.
You know Ali G.
I know her. I know, you know Ali G. You have to know Ali G on crypto. It would be impossible for not to know.
I've been here for a while.
Well, we realize there's only one label.
Exactly. So listen. So Mo Meta
is the real LEG.
Yeah, the real LEG. So yeah, right. There's some. So Scotty,
she's an OG, but she goes under the radar. She actually came to Tokyo for the 2019 meetup.
That's
and I
beautiful.
surprised you with that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing those pictures. I was like, wow, this is so exciting.
Thanks to the crypto man.
Yeah, you know, they were sold out. They weren't letting anyone in, but she figured out a way to do it.
Well, yeah, she came from Australia. You have to kind of like say, hey, you have to let her in. Yeah. But Scotty from Mo Meta says ethically trained AI for the win. And this is another thing. This is one of the other separators when you think about what Futureverse is doing. with the music side of the house, that everything's licensed, right? And unfortunately, like I'm a fan of like a couple of other ones that are like in big trouble right now because they didn't license the music, right? So there's so ethically trained AI is the way, and I do think that like they put guardrails up.
Yeah, I've used Gen AI, which is the Futureverse. I've used it for my videos.
It makes cool music.
half a dozen times, and it's fun. It's fantastic, and when you make it, you own it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like you don't have those strikes anymore where we play some stuff here that we get strikes on still, like all the time. Like, you've been demonetized. I'm like, so what's fair use anymore? Like, if you're showing something for the sake of showing it, you're not trying to make, not necessarily trying to monetize. 2-person studio is freedom.
Freedom. That's it. You don't need anything else.
There's still a lot of value in meetups, bringing people together. I think that, we can all agree in this room right now that meeting someone in person and getting to know people on a personal level, the value is still 100% there. Yeah. AI and chat and emailing, and it was all great, but meeting people and interacting with people face to face.
Driving around Australia with you, Ellie, that was a real treat. Like, getting in the car.
That was awesome.
Going down to Byron Bay.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing our meetup. So, my recommendation to everyone is that if there's a meetup happening in your local town, or, go, because there's so much value in meeting the community and, having those questions and having those debates and having them in real, time with people in front of you is highly valuable, and not being behind your keyboard where things can go pear-shaped really quickly.
Let's have a blockers party.
Yeah.
I want to meet Moon and Minus. That's what I want to be. I've been talking to these guys forever today. It's like that's the star couple that I want to meet. These two,
Yeah. So here's the big question for you. Right there.
We're going to keep doing the local meetups of Wave of Innovation. We want to keep educating people.
Oh, there they are.
And we're going to have local meetups in Queensland, in Brisbane and Gold Coast. We're still going to be educating people. We're still going to give, that platform to our developers and our locals, like Tori West. She's our Gold Coast developer down there. So, it's
where is Minus, by the way?
I think our first one is going to happen early October.
Sorry, Ali. This is a girls only event.
Yeah. I understand that, but where is he? Is he?
He's in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Tokyo. Gotcha.
Yeah.
No men allowed.
So it's a girls thing.
Ali, when is the next? It says TBD.
We're going to announce that very soon. We're just waiting for a date. It'll be early October. We're having a local meetup in Brisbane. Bill Morgan will be heading that up. And then we're organising another one early November. I'll be heading that one up down on the Gold Coast. So, any of our local people in Australia, make sure you get yourself there, because we'll be sharing a lot of information and also, socialising and good food and maybe some alcohol. Alcohol might be involved.
A little bit.
No, that's not possible. Yeah, I mean,
and then we're, I'm even thinking about it like a nice, fun local meetup with in December, because it's in the festive season.
Can you give us a hint when that next Wave of Innovations? Like, can you give us the time? First quarter of 25, second quarter, and we know if it's
Wave of Innovation 2025.
Yeah,
is
the
it
first
be
or second
too
quarter.
hot to be there? Is it gonna be hot? Is it gonna be rainy?
Cold,
cold,
it
pleasant.
might even be international this year.
Yeah,
might even be in Miami.
We've got a few things rolling around. We can't announce it yet. They're exciting, but it's watch your space, because there'll be a huge announcement soon.
Mark is saying there's an XRP kegger at my house. I'll host the Wave of Innovation. That's right.
Just out by the lake of the ducks.
Out by the lake.
We're gonna all go to Jeff's house.
We're all gonna come and hang out here.
All I know is we went to Australia.
Have a fire in the fire
Listen,
pit.
I got a complaint a lot. We went to Australia. We were there for almost a week. Not one damn kangaroo.
Yeah, that's right. They don't exist.
Not one damn wombat. We saw nothing.
They're AI. They're AI generated.
No koalas, no wombats. What's the other one we missed? We did see a dirk. We did find a dirk. A stranded dirk. A stranded dirk. We did find a stranded dirk at the beach. I mean, how crazy was that? We drive an hour and a half down to Byron Bay.
Byron Bay.
We pull up and Jeff goes, "That looks like Dirk's G-Wagon." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, Jeff. It's going to be
We
down here in
park right
Byron
next
Bay,
to it.
parked at the
Yeah,
beach." We
sure
pull up
enough.
next to it. Sure enough,
It's a
Dirk,
stranded Dirk
a stranded Dirk
Stranded
with
with
a
a
Dirk.
flat
battery.
battery.
His battery died.
So we
His battery
jump started
died.
him.
That's
He was
so
forever
random.
grateful. He was like,
Yeah.
"Yay."
Isn't it? Really random. Really random.
That was
It
a
very
bizarre-
random.
We made up the saying, stranded Dirk.
A stranded
Like,
Dirk.
what
This
are
is
the odds?
amazing. Wait, what did
But we had a lot
what
of
is
fun
that?
that day.
Oh, there I
What is that?
sent. Sorry, Jeff. I just saw a
Is that a
kangaroo. There it is.
kangaroo?
Fabio just sent me one. You guys can't see it. It's a little kangaroo emoji on there. So thanks. Appreciate that,
Kangaroos
Fabio.
don't exist until we see one.
And what else is the thing? A wombat, koala, kangaroo. That was like the things.
Didn't we see a snake
Yeah,
We saw a giant spider,
or a
Jeff.
spider? We saw a spider. That was
We saw a
pretty-
spider that could like
That's interesting.
crush your face, but
Right.
that wasn't what I was expecting, to be honest. I was like,
we
we're
saw
like,
tall
yay!
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I remember we went to that treetop park. We walk out to this thing, and I realized the whole damn thing's moving. And Jeff's like, "Is this thing moving?" I'm like, "I'm going. See ya." The whole damn thing's moving as you're walking out
Great
to it.
job.
It's
Yeah, that
like,
was great. Wasn't it?
Yeah, because you're
No.
moving with the treetops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't. No,
Not cool.
You
just
might
wasn't-
not do well on the Petals Hotel then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It felt a little too shaky for me.
We weren't over a gorge where we're at the trees tops. So
No,
we're-
what it was stable. I was
we're
cool with
walking
that.
through the treetops.
walking, I wasn't so cool with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It was a little weird, a little bit bizarre to say the least. What do
the
we have
best
here?
part. Well, I wouldn't say the best part of that area, but the Irish pub.
Red kangaroos?
top
What's
of
up
the
with the red
mountain.
kangaroos? Is that such a thing? Red kangaroos?
Yes. Yeah. They're huge.
Mm.
Yeah. They're
Dangerous.
they're very large and dangerous. Yeah.
No
have
Yetis.
any
Yeah,
Yetis?
no Yetis.
There's got to be
Yeah.
a Yeti and kangaroo, no? Or no?
Yeah,
Australia.
we're also waiting for AI
Yeah.
to take the Yetis up a notch because Jeff and I developed a game. So we're like, we're going to be there. You're going to have a first person, Yeti sort of a type of experience. I'm like, Jeff, we put so much time and effort into developing this thing, and it's like the technology needs to catch up a little bit. But yeah, we might have some cool things that we'll be doing. We'll be announcing in the future as well. So yeah, excited about, this whole space is fun. I mean, I think that was one of the coolest things that Ripple did do is that, bring the NFTs. It just made it a lot more fun seeing what's going on out there. And Matt LaRoche had sent me something today where we got a project being funded by selling silver. I thought that's what a phenomenal way to fund with a real world sort of an NFT, right? You buy it as an NFT, but you also get the silver. Thought that was a really cool spin and idea. And of course, if it has silver in the name, Matt's going to be into it. So it's, that's going to be a thing. Where is he today? He's not even in here today. Oscar Armisen looks up red kangaroos on YouTube. It's like, first of all,
And do they exist? They don't.
I was
exist.
Yes,
There's
they
no way.
do.
They really
Yeah.
do
Red
exist.
kangaroos.
There's a.
Yeah. I'll send you a photo.
All right.
They're huge
So-
and they're really muscly. They're
Yeah.
oh,
And the
But
next time
they're
we're there, we can
scary.
see them.
Yeah.
They
We'll be
look
able to
like
see
them.
they've been in prison.
person.
They look. Yeah. You could put the boxing gloves on them. Like
I love those. I love that one where the guy was like fighting for his dog and he started boxing the
Yeah.
kangaroo. I'm like, that might be
Yeah.
the greatest piece of video ever. DNI says,
It
for whatever it's worth about AI, I'm involved in a robotic/AI self-contained convenience store company. Took a giant 7-Eleven vending machine with robotic arms. First store is coming out by 2025 Q1. This is exciting.
That's really
That's really cool. Well, you got to
interesting.
keep us posted on that. I got to know more about this robotic. And then
Need
finally, right?
pictures.
One of the things they said about AI was there's I remember seeing this quote where this woman said, you know what? The problem with AI is who's going to do my job and all the boring stuff in my laundry while I make fun art and I make pictures and I paint, right? That's backwards. We want it the opposite way. Well, a company developed a robot that will do laundry, that will
Yes.
cook for you. Have you seen this? I'm like, this is the most amazing thing. Now, this is like, robotics and AI put together, but it looks like a human form and it's like shows it putting laundry in and taking laundry out. I'm like, now we're talking, right?
I'm in. Where do you
like
get
George
that?
Jetson.
I need one of those.
Right. Yeah. Rosie the robot, right? I mean, like, it looks way cooler than Rosie too. But
Yeah.
not as sassy, but very good. But we are getting there. I'm like, and the competition is for real. I mean, everybody has to one up everybody in the space. And when do we get those robots? I think we'll be in a really good space when that happens. So are we doing on time? You guys got a couple more
That
minutes
was
here,
an
right?
hour
We got
19. An hour 19.
An hour 19. Yeah, I think you said you have it about an hour and a half, right? More or less.
We have
Yes.
3 minutes left.
3
3
minutes.
minutes.
There we
got
go. What can
Rob,
we do in
Jeff.
3 minutes? Let's
Well, let's wrap it
change
up.
topics. Let's see. Let's get last comments from you guys on the. We covered a lot of topics. There's a lot of excitement in the space. Obviously, XRP, XRPL is getting ready to move into a pretty amazing direction if it hasn't already. The whole blockchain space, everything. So, last comments.
Closing words from everybody.
Closing.
Let's go from left to right. Al, you started off.
Well, you know, being the meetup queen, I'm really excited about bringing the community back together.
Perfect.
And yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Just bringing the community back together. If we can do that with these developments, that would be fantastic. With the DAO, you know, everything that's going to roll out, I would like to see that. I'm all about the community and meeting people and everyone sort of being on the same page.
I'm going to be sharing lots of pictures and doing lots of live tweets from the Tokyo event. Starts tomorrow, 2 p.m. I think it's going to take us all the way into the evening hours, maybe up till how late?
To 11.
Are we going to get to see you guys doing some karaoke or no?
Oh,
Not me.
Yeah, I actually put that through as a idea. Yeah, I made the idea.
I like that
I think
idea.
it's
That you can
it
live
fell pretty
stream.
flat.
That I
Yeah.
think should be a live stream right there. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it
Look,
would be
it's-
really fun if they did. I thought it would be hilarious if they had a contest between Brad, Monica, and David, you know, and they could pick their own song.
My
And
money's on. I think who's that's the thing. Who's your money on? Out of those three,
out of
who's your
those
money on?
three,
Brad.
Dad.
Really?
I think Monica's like got a hidden voice inside her. I think
Does
Monica
it?
could like she gets up there and she's just like an Adele. She just belts out something,
Yeah.
right?
I bet it's going to be David Schwartz.
I want to see it. I don't know.
David Schwartz, the man with the golden
choir or
throat. You
something.
imagine that?
David Schwartz can sing. He
Well,
can
David
sing.
Schwartz is-
if he can sing like he tells jokes,
Yeah.
He would crush it.
He'll win. He would win.
Yeah, that's a good point. But who knows? Brad
Yeah.
might have that hidden
And he would
talent
bring
too.
some humor.
Yeah,
Yes.
Brad might have that hidden talent too, and Monica. You never know. It would be
Could have
good
ourselves a real
match. It would
contest.
be.
Could have a real contest there. Yeah. So everybody's just Jungle wants to talk about Sui, so there you go. I mean, we all
This
kinds
one
of stuff.
dances when she goes to karaoke. She gets it. She
You
gets
dance
up
at
and
karaoke?
Yeah, she dances. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is wild. So somebody gets up there singing, you're out there dancing. That's okay. I've never seen
I'm the
that.
best backup dancer out
And
there.
She's the support.
Okay.
In the karaoke boxes that we have in Japan, she just gets right up and she dances to her songs.
It's about the
Oh, that's awesome.
performance. It's a passion.
Well, we heard something. This is something new we've learned. I've not heard this before. Dancing at karaoke, but it might become a thing in the future, Jeff. Nobody knows for sure.
Right. Dancing.
But it's great.
Good.
Crypto investigators here. We
We
got
might see
so many OGs
Moonchaser
out here.
dancing to Dave doing karaoke.
Listen, that you guys got to live stream that. Come on. And I know you might not be able to stream from the
I'll
events,
definitely be videoing and I'll have evidence.
but share
There we go.
photos, post stuff, make sure keep the whole community because we love to feel like we're like knowing what's going on there.
Then we'll bring you
Always
guys on
good.
next week and we'll watch all the videos together.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think there's an announcement too. So I'll definitely be posting that if they let that out. Maybe they let out
Okay.
the Singapore location early. I thought that was going to be their big announcement, but they already announced that. So we'll have
Well,
to wait and see.
Jeff and I are waiting to see if we're going to be accepted as Swell Miami. It's in our backyard, but do you think we'll be accepted to it? Probably not, but we'll see. We've officially, you know what our street cred was?
We're going to sneak in.
We co-emceed the Wave of Innovation
Right.
in Australia and the Gold Coast, which
Hmm.
was sponsored by Ripple. That was like our angle, and we're still going to get rubber stamp denied. I have a feeling we're not going to be going there, but I would love to go. I mean, it would be, we don't have to go
Swell,
to
Chip.
Singapore. We don't have to go to Amsterdam. What is it?
It's swell.
What is it called? What did I call it?
No, I'm just saying. It's swell.
Super swell.
That's super swell.
Never say never, I say.
Well, I would love to go to it. And I said we got to hit our boys up there on the in the APAC region, right? Neil and company over there. I mean, I said, you know, that gave me such a great opinion of Ripple. Those guys they were so involved in the community. And I
Yeah,
thought, how
agree.
And yet-
different the
yeah,
contrast.
they loved it. They were
Mm.
absolutely so excited. And, you know, all the opening comments from all of our keynotes were, you know, so happy about the fact that we had that event in Australia. And, you know, we delivered it at such a high caliber that it really hit, you know, a nice sweet spot with everybody. So, you know, the comments coming from Ross and Neil and, you know, everyone, Scott and everybody was amazing. We've been doing shorts, you know, showcasing those comments because, yeah, it's important that they understand, you know, that we had that event, and to continue these kinds of events in Australia is important.
I agree. And this is like, that's the shot right there's the money shot right there. So there we all are hanging out with the Ripple guys
Yeah.
right there. That was
Yeah.
fun.
That's it.
They were really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Post.
And they
They
just
were-
didn't pop in or out. They hung out the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Remember they're trying to
they
get ushered out of
chatted it
the
up
Yeah.
with everybody.
I know.
mixer,
Well,
and then they snuck
Ross,
back in.
I think
Right. Yeah,
Cheryl
they
was
were-
trying to rally them up at the
Uh,
end.
she routed them up
And
to
Ross
go, and
did
then they went around and
Ross
came
did
right
a
back.
bolt back to the
Next thing you know, we're like doing drinks again. I was like that. But what I loved was they were so open into listening and really,
Yeah.
really involved.
Absolutely.
And the way they handled questions, I just thought it was just in the interact with the community. It was just, I thought, man, what a great representation.
Right.
They are representatives of Ripple, you know, so it's no doubt the APAC region is so incredible over there, you know, and we just had, you know, South Korea. I mean, I saw that meetup and I'm like, I forgot who it was that posted it, but it was like, have you ever seen a, you know, I remember what it was. I remember exact words it were, but it's something. Have you ever seen this many people like at a meetup? Like it was incredible. Everyone had their computers. It was a hackathon, but usually you don't see that
Yeah.
many at a hackathon. It was
amazing.
incredible. So I'm you know, so Jeff, we got to get over there again. That's what we have to do. We're going. Yeah. So I'm excited to hear the announcement. I'm excited to hear like what's forthcoming, but it's going to be an exciting rest of the year. Just when you thought everything was status quo, man, it's going to change you. But let us know. Have a great time. It's great to see the three of you together. And you broke an official record here. We have never had three people as a guest, like in the same room. We've never even had two, right? So this is a new record for On the Chain. So
Right.
thank you for participating. Thank you for giving us your time. I know your
Thank
time's
you for having
valuable.
us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It was a lot of fun.
Awesome
So
time.
yeah, we'll say goodbye from here, and then if you guys want to hang out for one more second in the green room, but we will say goodbye, guys, and we will see you on the next one. So got another exciting guest coming up. We're
Oh.
trying to confirm. I don't want to get the cat out of the bag, but it'll be an interesting. Yeah, let's just say that it's going to be. We've got the verbal agreement. We have to lock something down, but that's how it always goes with us. So we're trying to get date and time's usually the big one. That's usually tough, but we're gonna get out of here. If you guys want to hang out 1 second, we'll say goodbye off camera. And that's all I know. See you guys in the next one. Chip and Jeff,
We got
Moonchaser, Crypto Eddie,
LEG.
LEG, ready?
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.